Hey, what's going on, guys? This is fineokay from SoaR Gaming. Today I'm going to be making a video on how to start or how to build at the beginning of the game on every solo laner. A lot of people ask, like, while I'm streaming and I'm playing a game, like at the beginning of the game, why did I start like Desktol, or why did I start Bluestone, or why did I start Mark, right? So, and like why I got the amount of pots that I did. So I'm just going to be making a video going through each god and how to start them, and possible ways to start them, the best ways at least. So let's just begin. Let's go ahead and start with Amaterasu. We're going to go to God Builder. So Amaterasu, usually you start with Desktol. Usually start with Desktol on her, especially if you're against like the Bellona, Osiris, or just Erlang, or like things that can really poke you out easily. Maybe even Wukong. And then you start Bluestone if you know you can outpush. You're against a Guardian or like a Nike or something of that nature. So you can start Bluestone. You don't need the sustain from Desktol and the extra health. You just want to be putting out damage and clearing the waves as fast as possible. Right, and that's easy to do against Guardians. And you start Boots 1, and then you go, here, I'll just keep these for that thing, and then you start. You can either start, this is kind of a preference thing. If you think you're just going to be spamming pots, you can start Chalice of Healing and either 2 health pots or 2 multi-pots. Multi-pots if you think you're going to be spamming mana. So 2 multi-pots. Alright, so 2. You get 3 pots with this Chalice of Healing every time you back. So if you think you're going to spam that, spam your heals, then you can get that. Or you can just grab regular pots, just 4 regular pots, so 4 regular and then 2 multi, and this is just to sustain in the lane. You need pots, you get poked out very easily, and you need to stay in the lane until you can get boots and TP back in, because boots are the most important thing. So this is kind of what you would start unless you're starting Chalice of Healing, which it's an important thing to note with starting Chalice of Healing and going 2 pots. You use all of your gold, whereas with this you save 100 gold so you can get boots faster. So if you think that you can farm up that boots and no minions are going to be killed under tower, then you can go for Chalice of Healing. So next up is Bellona. Bellona's pretty cut and dry. Desktol all the time, every time. Boots 1, and then you can either go, like I said before, I almost always go Chalice of Healing on her, because you can farm up to the boots no matter what. You're always going to be getting that gold, and you're always going to be getting pressure with Bellona. So I like to go Chalice of Healing and 2 health pots, just so you have that extra sustain. Even though you have so much sustain with Desktol, it's a good build to go, especially because you have the Chalice of Healing and you won't have to be spending money on pots after your boots 1 back, or boots 3 back. So you're just going to have that every time you back. So this is a pretty normal start on her. Always go Desktol, never go Bluestone. Mark Vanguard, you don't need any of that. Desktol is the way to go on her. So next up is Chaac. Chaac is pretty cut and dry too. Always go Bluestone on him with boots 1. You don't need to go anything else, because you don't need Mark, because you're not getting poked a lot. You have a lot of sustain in your kit with your heal, and you're always just full clearing the wave. Once you hit level 3, you're full clearing the wave, so you don't need to worry about Desktol's sustain. He doesn't have a cleave in his auto attack chain, so you can't really benefit off it much. You can go Chalice of Healing also, because you don't have to worry about multi-pots, because you won't be running out of mana as Chaac because of your passive, right? And the MP5 on Bluestone's good. And then you can go 2 multi-pots or just 2 health pots again with this. So Chaac's pretty easy. It's a pretty standard build on him. Just clear the wave really fast. That's what you do, and you can bully even if you have a blue buff. So yeah, that's how you build Chaac. On to Erlang Shen. Erlang Shen, always start Desktol on him. You don't need Mark. You get a lot of benefit from Desktol because your dog procs it as well as your regular hit chain. So you proc it twice. And then you have cleave autos as well that proc it 3 times, plus once from the dog. The dog doesn't proc it 3 times on the swing. So Desktol is really good on him. Mark, you don't need, because you're actually getting more benefit from Desktol, and you're actually going to be more tanky just because of the sustain. In Bluestone, you only can proc it with your 3 and your 2, so it's not worth it, obviously, and Desktol is just way better. So start Desktol, boots 1, of course, and then you can do the same thing with Chalice of Healing. I like to just go regular pots on him. You get so much sustain that you don't want to waste that gold on the healing, and just 2 multi-pots. You already have so much sustain in your kit from your ult, heal, your Desktol, procs that you have so much of because of your dog and your cleaves, that this is pretty much the standard build on him. So Now for Guan Yu, you usually want to start Bluestone on him. He gets a lot of benefit from it, from his 2 dash, his 3 shreds with Bluestone, right? And then your ult, you can proc it a bunch. So yeah, Bluestone's usually the go-to on him because it helps you clear too. But if you're just getting destroyed or you're uncomfortable in like a matchup, like such as Guan into Osiris, it's a pretty rough matchup. You can go mark the Vanguard and get away with it because a lot of times you're just going to be a heal bot in the late game for your team. So like you just want to get to that late game, and if you think you can do it better with Mark of the Vanguard, that's fine to go as well. But keep in mind that you won't be clearing as fast with Mark, but eventually you're going to get to the point where your Talusol will be full clearing the wave, so it's not that big a deal. And then go Boots, of course, and then definitely start probably 4 health pots and maybe even 3 multi-pots, so you make sure you don't run out of mana, and you can get the gold to Boots 3 by sustaining in lane. So yeah, this should be the start. Another thing that you could probably mess around with is starting Breastplate 2. I'm just going to put that down here, since it gives you 10 MP5 plus 200 mana, and one of the big problems is you may not get your blue buff as a Guan Yu, so this isn't that bad. It gives you a lot of extra mana in MP5, so you can sustain a lane. And if you start that, you can start Boots 1 with that, and then just 3 health pots and 2 multi-pots, because you'll be at 0 gold at this point, so 950 plus 300, so that's 1250 plus 5 of these, which is 250, so you'll be at 1500 gold, which is what you start with. But this isn't a bad start either. It's something you could mess around with. All of these are like acceptable. Another thing with this, a benefit from this, is you get an easy access to Breastplate. You just have to farm that up, and you won't have to worry about the starter item gold. But it's risky, so just try it at home and then see what you like. All right, now for Hercules, you almost always want to start Bluestone. Bluestone is amazing on Herc because he has 3 abilities that proc it. He clears the wave at level 3. He full clears the wave at level 3 if you 2 and then 1 it. So it's good on him. But it's not completely wrong to go Mark of the Vanguard. It can work. You don't really need it in this meta. Herc's really good right now, and he can clear the wave super easily. And if he has a jungler that can start with him, they get so much pressure, and he basically just gets a head off that. Even into like Osiris and Bellona, he's not bad into. So you can still go Bluestone against those people, like Bellona, Osiris, the ones that fuck you, even Erlang Shen. But it's not wrong to go Mark. It's kind of like Guan Yu. If you just think you're going to get destroyed, just go Mark the Vanguard just to be safe. It's no big deal. You'll still be doing a lot of damage with his passive and everything. Boots 1 again. Herc has a lot of sustain in his kit, so you could just go regular pots so you can get your boots faster. But I a lot of times just go Chalice of Healing with 2 multi-pots, because you can get so much pressure with Herc that you don't need that many pots, and you don't need like the 4 pots to 2, and Chalice of Healing is just good on him because he likes to sustain a lot, so it's good in general. Alright, so for Nike now. Nike is a little unique. You almost always start Mark the Vanguard on her. She takes a lot of poke because she will a lot of times hit the enemy solo laner while she's clearing the wave. She doesn't have really any form of poke. You know, her 2 is not really an ability. It's a good ability, but it's not like a real ability to poke with. Her 3 is a jump that she needs to escape and doesn't do any damage, right? So you're not using that to poke. So she really has no form of poke. She just wants to clear the wave, but a lot of times she'll be taking so much poke that she needs Mark the Vanguard. So that's good to go on her. If you're like into a guarding and you really just don't want Mark the Vanguard because you don't have to worry about it that much, you can go Destal. She has cleave autos, so she can benefit from it a little bit. I almost never would go Bluestone on her. It's just a super aggressive item for Nike, even though she's not really aggressive in the early game, right? She just wants to farm and become like one of the best team fight warriors. So Mark the Vanguard almost always, but sometimes Destal if you're against a Guardian you really don't have to worry about it at all, or a jungler that you really don't have to worry about at all. So yeah. And then you want to go Boots 1, of course. And I usually go for health pots on her because a lot of times you won't be getting your blue buff, and 3 multi-pots. So you can have that mana sustain. You could go 2, but 3 multi just to be safe. And then you can full clear the wave at level 3, but a lot of times you're against somebody that can just destroy you like Osiris or Bellona. So you want to go clear the wave as fast as possible. At level 3 you can full clear if you hit every rend, and then just jump out and just keep rinsing and repeating. So it's a pretty good way to do that. Next up is Odin. So Odin's easy. Bluestone every time. You don't really have to worry about much. At level 3, you full clear the wave. Like literally, you just insta-kill it because your shield damage and your jump damage both proc it, and you'll just clear the entire wave instantly. So Bluestone on him every time. Usually, it just depends. Like you could go Chalice of Healing, but you may not be getting a blue buff, so it might not be that great. So sometimes you'll just want to go Bluestone, Boots 1. I should probably be doing it like this because it's a lot more clean and it looks better. But a lot of times you just want to do this 4 multi, or 4 regular, my bad, and 2 multi, and just start with this. You don't use a lot of mana because you really are only using 2 abilities in the laning phase. Your jump and your shield, and you full clear, and then you walk back. And you're just trying to get to Boots 3, right? So this is a pretty good start to go on him, just to make sure you get to Boots 3, and you'll be left with 100 gold again, so it's easier to do that. So Osiris, like Bellona, is very simple. You just start Destal on him, Boots 1, and I almost always start with Chalice of Healing and just 2 multi-pots. You don't really have to worry about poke because you have Destal, which Osiris benefits a lot from because he has 2 AoE autos in his hit chain. So Destal is really good on him. You don't really have to worry about sustain too much, so you don't need that extra health pot. And it's just good to have Chalice of Healing for team fights and for after the Boots 3 back, just to have to spam your multi-pot or your heals without having to buy new ones, right? So this is the simple, and always go this. Never go Mark the Vanguard or Bluestone on Osiris. He benefits way too much from Destal, so this is what you should be going. So Ravana is a little different. I talked about it a little bit in my Ravana gameplay video, but for Ravana, you want to start Destal if you think you're going to get out pressured, basically out cleared, and you're going to be taking a lot of poke. His heal's on a very long cooldown, so you want to have Destal to sustain, and the health just so you can sustain and get the gold from the minions while you're taking poke. But if not, you're against like a Guardian or like an Amaterasu or a Vamana or something like that, and you know that you can out clear and maybe even poke them hard and play a little aggressive, you can go Bluestone. And here, let me try and fix that. So if you would go Destal, you go Boots 1, and you know you're taking a lot of pokes, so you want to go 4 health pots and 2 multi with 100 gold left, and just try and get Boots 3. Ravana's Boots 3 power spike is really good. If you're not doing that, you would go Bluestone, like I said, if you think you can out clear and out pressure them and poke them and play aggressive, Bluestone, and then I would go most likely Chalice of Healing and 2 health pots. Since I know that I don't have to worry about poke too much, and I can out pressure them, so I don't need 4 pots, and I just want the Chalice of Healing so I can spam after my Boots 3. So that's how you build Ravana. These are the 2 things. You don't really want Mark on him. He doesn't really benefit from it that much. So Wukong is very similar to Chaac in that he just buys Bluestone every time. You always want to go Bluestone on him. At level 3, you're full clearing the way with your cudgel into your spin, whatever it's called, Master's Will. Then you go Boots 1 on him, of course, and I just go 4 health on him, 4 health pots, and 2 multi, because all you're really doing is trying to clear the wave and back for Boots 3, right? So just clear the wave, back up. You don't really have to worry about too much poke. If he's pretty safe. You do get poked a lot by a lot of the solo laners, but he is pretty safe that you won't really have to worry about dying. So you just want to use those pots to sustain until you can get to Boots 3 and TP back in. So that's pretty easy way to build him. So for tier, always go Bluestone on him. Again, he has so many abilities that proc off of it. His 1-2, and then his 1-2 and his blue stance. So he has 4 abilities plus his ult. So he gets so much benefit from it. He can full clear the wave pretty early with it. So yeah, tier's not really in the meta right now, but if I were going to build him right now, I would go 4 regular pots and 2 multi on him. He can take a lot of pokes, so you need those pots, but he also has his heal. He also spams a lot of mana, so multi-fights are nice to have. And yeah, this is just the easy way to build him. Bluestone, always on him, nothing else. So for mana, I already have a preset build, oops. So for this little guy, Bluestone, every time on him, all of his abilities proc with it, except his ult, because those are auto attacks. But he basically has 4 abilities that proc with it because it procs twice on his umbrella toss, whatever it's called, umbrella ring. No, I think that's his 2. Either way, his 3, the one that double taps, it procs twice on it, so it's good to have Bluestone. You can full clear the wave at level 3. That's a common theme with warriors with Bluestone, so just go Bluestone on him every time. Mark the Vanguard and Destal aren't that important on him. Destal especially because he doesn't have any AoE autos and can clear the wave without really autoing. And then with him, just go 4 health pots and 2 multi. You just, like Wukong and like other Bluestone warriors, all you're really wanting to do is clear the wave as fast as possible, play safe so you don't get fucked by like a Bellona or Osiris, and back up and just keep clearing the wave, rinse and repeat until you can get to boots 3. His boots 3 is amazing. Then you can start trading. You can trade earlier if you're against like another Bluestone warrior, but yeah, just try and farm up to that boots 3. Clear the wave as fast as possible. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about the Guardians. They're going to be a little different. They're going to have some different build options. So we're going to begin with Athena. So with Athena, sometimes you'll just start Mark the Vanguard, boots 1, and this was like the standard start for a lot of Guardians, right? Boots 1, 4 health, and 2 multi. She clears pretty easily with her 3. You know, at level 3, she clears pretty much instantly if she uses her reach properly. So this is not a bad start. This was the standard start for a while. Another start that I've been liking lately is you go Boom Buzz and Mark. 2 health, 2 multi. 2 health, 2 multi. So this puts you at 0 gold, but you have the Boom Buzz, and also lets you solo your blue. So with this, you kind of want to have, or kind of want to, but you kind of have to go hog on this so you can solo your blue. And you don't really need TP like other solo laners because you can ult into fights or ult back to lane, ult into whatever basically. So this isn't bad on her, but keep in mind with this, you should start hog, and at the beginning of the game, start your blue and just hog it. And then another start you could also look into going on her is the Breastplate 2 start and boots 1. Of course, you always want to go Breastplate on, not Bellona, on Athena because she benefits a lot from cooldown. Get more taunts off, get more 3s off, get more ults off. You know, it's just important to have on her. And then with this, you would go 3 health and 2 multi. This puts you also at 0 gold, but you have the Breastplate to work into, you know, your Breastplate of Valor for. So it's a good start. So these 3 starts are pretty normal to go on her. Next up, we got Cabrakan. Cabrakan, similar to Athena, has a couple build options that you can go. The standard thing, once again, was just Mark the Vanguard and boots 1 on him. The reason, I should probably explain this. The reason you want to be going Mark the Vanguard on Guardians especially is they take a lot of poke. They don't have a lot of sustain in the lane. Like Cabrakan has no sustain. So you're going to be taking a lot of poke, and you're going to be tanking the minions because your abilities hit the minions and the enemy solo laners. So with this, you would be going 4 health and 3 multi. Usually 3 because you're going to need a little bit of mana sustain to make sure you get the gold under the tower if you're getting pushed under tower. But a lot of times you can just full clear. And also Cabrakan gets pressure, so if somebody starts with you, you can usually get your blue. And if you can get your blue and you know you can get your blue with your jungler, you should probably just start 2 multi. But he does spam a lot of mana, so it's never bad to just go with 3. And then another start with him is the Breastplate 2 start. You can always go. This gives you the mana sustain like we said, and the actual mana itself. Why isn't it popping up? Alright, well, it's not popping up, but we'll just go look at it. So 200 mana plus 10 MP5, so that's good to have on him. And then with this, you would go 3 health and 2 multi. Right, so this is another good start on him since he spans a lot of mana. And of course, a lot of times you're going into Breastplate, so it's good to have that as well. So with Sobek, he's a little unique in that you're never going to be getting your blue buff with him for the most part. I say never, but there's some situations where you could. But you have to kind of bank on the fact that you will not be getting your blue buff. So you can start with Mark the Vanguard, 4 health pots, because you take a good amount of poke. And then Chalice of Mana. So this isn't a bad start on him. This will put you at 200 gold left over. And so that helps you get to your boots 3 faster. But you don't start with your boots 1, so it takes a little bit, but you can farm it up, and you can use your ult to clear like the level 5 or level 6 wave. if you need to, because you won't have your blue buff and you'll be spamming your mana chalice. So that's not a bad start, but since you are spamming so much mana, it's also not a bad idea to just start boots, or not boots, but breastplate 2. And then you can start with boots 1 if you want, or you can just start breastplate 2 and not even buy boots. And then go 3 health and 2 multi, like the other guardians. So this isn't a bad start either. I've been liking this one more recently. Breastplate is another key item on Sobek, so it's not bad to go with this, but this isn't bad to do either, and this also gives you a lot of mana sustain from Chalice of Mana, so either one really works. I've been just messing around with Breastplate and see if you like it. So with Terra, again, the key thing with her was you were never getting your blue buff, so you might as well start Mark of the Vanguard, 4 health pots, and 3 Chalice, or not 3, but Chalice of Mana, and that gives you 3 mana pots. You don't really need, at level 3 you can clear the wave if you played Terra right. You can clear the wave before it even hits the tower. So you don't really need like that much sustain. You just need these 4 health pots to stay up, and Mark of Vanguard will help you sustain as well, just by being tanky. So this isn't a bad thing. This was kind of the standard start on her, but another thing you can do, like we've been talking about, is just Breastplate 2, since you won't get your blue buff. Start boots 1. And Terra is one of those gods that you could actually, for this, you would not be farming up to your boots 3. You could, and you could buy whatever you want. But a lot of times I like to just finish out Breastplate with her. It's a really good power spike for her, and like you'd think that you need the movement speed, but all you're really doing in solo is ulting for fights that are around Gold Fury or mid lane or in duo. So if you play super safe and just buy Breastplate and then ult on cooldown, that puts your ult at like a 75-second cooldown or something like that, 78 or something. And then just keep farming until you get boots. Then you can start working into the team fights and trying to do damage. But it's good to just go Breastplate because you don't really have to worry about like the team fights, and you're just worrying about ulting for your team. So it's not a bad thing to do. So with Xing Tian, he's once again one of those people that should probably be going Chalice of Mana, because he won't be getting his blue buff, and you need to just make sure you can spam your abilities so you can get the goal before it hits tower, so you can eventually get to your boots 3. But beating a dead horse here, but you can also just go Silver Breastplate 2, or I don't know why I said that, just Silver Breastplate, which is Breastplate 2, and then go your 3 health into multi. This will give you a little bit of mana sustain, and it gives you that option to quickly build into Breastplate. Usually you want to finish out your boots. I've been liking cooldown boots on him a lot lately because you spam a lot of abilities and spam mana, but pen boots isn't bad on him either. So yeah, and then you can work into Breastplate and then Void Stone or whatever else you want to build, Eye of the Urchin, stuff like that. So these are the 2 standard starts on him. And then with Ymir, this was the standard start on him. Ymir is one of those guardians that can get pressure because his 2 hit so hard and his autos afterward hit so hard. So you can start boots 1, 4 health and 2 multi, and you can almost always guarantee a blue buff. But if you are not going to have your jungler starting over there and you think you're going to get out pressured, you can start Tier 2 Breastplate and boots 1, and again 3 multi and 2 multi, or 3 regular, 2 multi. So this is 2 standard starts on him. You're going to be taking poke. You do enough damage that you don't need like another start item, so Mark is always good. That's always good on Guardians, just go Mark, but this isn't bad either, especially if you're not getting your blue. So alright, so let's summarize a little bit. So if you have cleave autos and you can sustain a lot with Death Toll, such as like Bellona, Erlang, or Osiris, you want to be going Death Toll because you benefit so much from it. If you do not benefit from Death Toll, which means you don't have like a cleave auto or whatever, and you just need to worry about clearing the wave, and you also have a lot of abilities that can proc Bluestone, you should be going Bluestone and just clearing the wave and backing up, and maybe even poking if you can. And then if you're a god who's just going to get destroyed in lane and you're going to take too much poke, you have to hit the enemy soul laner to proc ability, or to even clear the wave. It's just how it works, like an AoE ability. Then you should be going Mark the Vanguard so you can actually tank the minions and clear the wave without taking too much damage, and also getting the gold for it before it hits tower. And another thing to think about, that's a start that's been on the uprise, especially since Deathwalker started doing it, is Breastplate 2, because of the mana sustain, and you know that you won't be getting your blue buff per se, or you just want to really work into that Breastplate faster. So those are all things to think about. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was pretty long, and this is just going over how to start the solo laners, and I tried to explain as much as I could to the best of my ability. So yeah, I'll probably do another video on actually how to build them, like their actual items. But for now, this is what you guys got. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.